Turn heads and bring the hype with a custom hype chain from Lotwin. Perfect for youth sports, fantasy football, or just flexing your pride. Go to Lotwin.com, use the promo code TCCPOD for 10% off your order. That's Lotwin.com, promo code TCCPOD for 10% off. Get your custom hype chain and get hype with Lotwin. What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for April 10th, 2026. I'm your host, Joe Montgomery. Welcome to a feel-good Friday edition of the podcast. Although I'm not feeling very feel-good right now. And man, oh man, wasn't going to start with this, but is there anybody more unlucky in any sports history than Joel Embiid? Likely out for the season now with appendicitis. And you got to feel bad for the guy. And appendicitis is uncontrollable. It's not something you can prepare for, whatever. Dude has had Bell's palsy. He's had 2 freak orbital bone fractures. A cheap shot by Kuminga, who jumped on his knee the one year when he was playing at an MVP level. Some of those injuries early in his career were just him getting used to the game. But I will not, and we were going back and forth with the Clashing Conferences channel, but there's guys that say, oh, he's a you-know-what, he's weak, he's this, and I have to disagree with that. I feel like he tries his best to play through that, and for whatever reason, the other guys don't step up, whether that's on general manager, but you got to feel bad for this dude with appendicitis. Like, it's usually a 3 to 6 week recovery minimum, depending on, I guess, the severity. OG Anunoby had it a couple years ago, had a couple complications and missed the entire playoffs until the finals. Just a brutal, tough break for Joe. And I wonder if this had anything to do with the sickness, possibly even the oblique pain. I doubt it, but I'm just speculating here. But again, Lucy with the football every single time. On the court, it wasn't much better. The Sixers sleptwalked through the first 3 quarters, losing at 113-102. Pretty uninspired, but I guess justifiably when you find out your star player hours before the game had to get emergency surgery in Houston. And I think that's how you know it was pretty bad and legitimate. So I don't know. There's I did a little research on this, and I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on TV, but there's the arthroscopic, which is a quicker recovery time. And then there is the full-blown cut open surgery. Haven't heard which one Joe had. Obviously, if it's the full-blown cut open surgery, he won't be back. Unless somehow miracles happen, which I don't see this happening. But just brutal. Now they're 2 games back of the 6th spot with 2 games left to play. They're tied for the 8th spot. Winnable games, I guess, versus Indiana and Milwaukee. We'll see. I think it would bode better for the Sixers to get the 6th seed. That way, you at least buy yourself a couple extra days. You're guaranteed a 7 series, and I don't know. Just brutal. Absolutely, devastating. And I do feel bad for Joe. Yes, he's a troll. Yes, he's annoying sometimes, but dude is a friggin' baller. And to have so many of these freak injuries, you know what I mean? Sometimes a knee, this, that, and the other. He missed, and I hear people saying he misses more game. Yes, dude is injury prone, okay? Not going to deny that. But, I mean, going into the playoffs now, this is 2 fractured orbital bones, Bell's palsy, and now appendicitis. I mean, that is just the definite. Like, you can't make this stuff up. Like, if you were going to tell me, here's a player, here's how good of a talent he is, but here's what's going to happen to him for his career. I mean, you can figure maybe 1, possibly 2, but 4 of those things. The fractured orbital bones. Like, 1 was a kind of a cheaper shot, too, against, I believe it was the Heat. You got Kuminga even jumping on his knee. Like, that was one of the dirtiest plays. I hate Kuminga. I never will like him. I hope the Sixers never sign him because I will buy season tickets just to boo him. And now appendicitis. Like, come on. Come on, basketball gods. What have we done? This team is cursed. I don't know if it's the curse of Moses Malone, Roy Hinson, Sam Hinkie. I don't know. Combination of all 3. They're getting us with the triple threat. But we talked about this jokingly on Friday the 13th. But tell me what I need to do to break this curse. Please tell me. I will do it. Wear pajamas backwards. Parade from Camden to the Xfinity Mobile Arena. What? Burn a Celtics jersey? Tell me what I need to do, and I will do it. They're in Indiana tonight, and then Saturday out in Milwaukee. No, that doesn't make sense. Sunday in Milwaukee, I think. They wouldn't play 3 straight. Doesn't matter though. Doesn't really matter. The season, for all intents and purposes, is over. But I mean, I would love to hear the thoughts on this, both good and bad. Because I know there's some people out there who will be like, oh, Joe, he's this, he's that, blah, 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 blah. But, dude is unlucky. 267-495-8531. That's a Back to the Future voice and text line. And I think it's fair to say, where do they go from here? They're not going to get, I mean, I guess they have a shot at the lottery if they get into the play-in and lose. So we got that going for us, which is nice. And then the Flyers. What an ugly game. 6 times this season, the Flyers have won 3 games in a row. And now 6 times they have lost the 4th game. 6-3 in an ugly game out in Detroit. Very undisciplined. Lots of bad penalties. Gave up a shorthanded goal. A couple power play goals. I mean, look, it happens. They're a young team still. This is why I wasn't ready to say they're ready to make a cup run. Could they make some noise? Absolutely. Porter Martone is going to be a stud. He had a goal and an assist last night. Dan Vladar was not good. He got pulled. We talked about Clint Hurdle the other day. We talked about Showerwell. This is one of those games, I think, for the Flyers. And I don't know what Rick Tockett's plan is, but this is not one you harp on. You take some things to work on in practice before tomorrow's game, but you wash it away, flush it, shower well, Flyers, shower well. 2 games left in the season. 3 games left in the season. First one up is tomorrow in Winnipeg. They're still in a good position in the playoffs. They're 1 point up on the Islanders in the Metropolitan, 2 on Columbus. 47% chance to make that 3rd seed as of this morning. So obviously they went down, and the way the other teams are playing, it looks like they're going to have to hang on to that 3rd seed, but it starts tomorrow in Winnipeg. 1 game at a time. Take it that way, but just an ugly, ugly game. And hopefully they can clinch before that final game. But 3 games left. Why not do another 3-game winning streak and then break that 3-game winning streak curse in the first game of the playoffs? Phillies back in action tonight as they start an 8-game homestand against the Diamondbacks this weekend. Jesus Luzardo tonight, Taijuan Walker tomorrow, and Andrew Painter on Sunday. Topper talked about possibly making some lineup tweaks. I absolutely think he should. Doesn't matter at this point. Just throw darts at a dartboard, pull names out of a hat. Something's got to give here. And a lot of talk about Kevin Long yesterday. And look, Kevin Long likely will be the sacrificial lamb here. But I mean, Kevin Long is not the one going up to the plate, being undisciplined, going up to the plate, not getting a hit. Kevin Long can only do so much. I think this is a product of Dave Dombrowski's running it back for the past how many ever years. These guys are who they are. As Denny Green said, they are who we thought they were. And to expect different results as a year older is the definition of an insanity. And to do it 3 years in a row now is just insane asylum insanity worthy, if that's even a thing. But I mean, sure, fire Kevin Long. I don't think it's going to make a change. I mean, you could say fire Rob Thompson. I don't think it's going to change anything because these players are who they are, and they're going to go on streaks where they're putting up 10 runs in the first inning like they did in Colorado, and then they're going to go 20-some innings without scoring. It's just who they are. If they can get some consistency out of the pitching staff, but I don't think the starters have pitched that bad. I mean, Taiwan has probably been the worst of the bunch, and even so, like, you can't score any runs when Taiwan pitches. I mean, Aaron Nola pitched a hell of a game the other night, made one bad pitch, gave up 3 runs, but you don't score any, so what does it matter? So we'll see. Phillies, Diamondbacks this weekend. Awesome. Union, it goes from bad to worse. Union in action this weekend up in Montreal, still looking for their first MLS win. Can they score some goals? Maybe. We'll see. All right, some quick housekeeping notes. Be sure to follow me on all social media platforms at Philly Jimbo. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mont, and continue to spread the word as we grow this thing. Not a feel-good Friday for me at all. We'll get through it, though. We'll get through it. It's supposed to be a beautiful weekend. Hitting season is coming. So hopefully down at the bank, 80-degree weather next week versus the Cubs. Maybe, just maybe, the Bats will wake up. This day in Philly sports history is proud to be a part of the Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network, where passionate fans make powerful content. Check out theclashingconferences.com and join the squad today. All right, April 10th. Lots of opening days on this day, specifically at the Vet. First, we're going to go all the way back to 1971, and it was the first ever opening day at the Vet. First real game played at the Vet. Phillies versus Expos. The ceremonial first ball was dropped from a helicopter caught by bullpen catcher Mike Ryan, who I've seen in interviews has said, I was impressed that I caught it. So pretty cool moment there to open the Vet. It also marked the debut of Harry Kalas as the play-by-play guy for the Phillies. Was not beloved, but would win us over as his career progressed. Just for a little bit of, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for is, field box seats for this game. $4.25 back in 1971. But enough about that. On the field, Phillies took care of business 4-1. Jim Bunning got the win. Larry Boa with the first hit in the history of the Vet. Don Money with the first home run as Phillies beat the Expos 4-1 in front of a Pennsylvania baseball record crowd of 55,352. The Vet was state-of-the-art, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. That dump at one point was new. It's kind of like when you see just like grumpy old people who are curmudgeon-y. At one point, they were cute little babies. The Vet, at one point, was state-of-the-art and the bee's knees, as they say. All right, fast forward 5 years later to 1976. As we celebrate this summer the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, 50 years ago today, they started the bicentennial celebration. And, of course, the Phillies got into the action on it. A horseman dressed as Paul Revere started in Boston and brought the ceremonial first ball down from Boston, kind of paying homage to the colonial days. Then Rocket Man flew around one of those little jetpack things, which were big in the 70s, flew around the Vet, gave the ball to Robin Roberts, who threw out the first pitch. And this was pretty cool, I think, as a a former history teacher, having Paul Revere deliver the ball to Philly from Boston is a pretty cool move by the Phillies. Unfortunately, they lose to the Pirates 5-4 in 11 innings. It was the only time during his time with the team that Steve Carlton did not pitch opening day for the Phillies. Every opening day from 72 to 86, with the exception of 1976, Steve Carlton starting pitching this day for the Phillies was Jim Cott, recently acquired from the White Sox. All right, fast forward to 1984, another home opener for the Phils, this time against the Astros. This year was the American Comet, Brian Reinhold, being shot out of a cannon from second base into a net behind home plate. Listen, Bill Giles, give the man credit. He went big, plenty of spectacle for opening days at the Vet. Nolan Ryan was on the mound for the Astros that day, held the Phillies scoreless for 7 innings before Mike Schmidt, who seemed to always do well against Nolan Ryan when it counted, hit a 3-run homer to give the Phillies a 3-1 win. John Denny on the mound that day got the win, pitched 8 strong innings. Al Holland saved it as the Phillies win the home opener at the Vet 3-1 over Nolan Ryan and the Astros. But Rocket Man was shot from second base to home plate. 3 years later, it was another home opener at the Vet. This time, no big production. Rocket Man was supposed to be a part of the spectacle, but broke his ankle the day before practicing. Mike Schmidt did receive his MVP award for the 1986 season in a pregame ceremony. Phillies do lose to the Cubs that day 4-3. Mike Schmidt, Mike Easler, and Glenn Wilson all homered for the Phillies. And I think I got that wrong. In 84, it wasn't Rocket Man. It was the American Comet was shot from second base into home plate. Rocket Man broke his ankle before the 87. Got to keep this straight, man. Bill Giles, like I said, was insane. But a lot of fun. 1996, John LeClair scored 2 goals and 2 assists. John Druce also scored twice for the Flyers as they beat the Devils 5-1. Lindros sat out this game. He was recovering from his second career concussion. But John LeClair went over 50 goals for the first time in his career, and it marked the first of 3 straight 50-goal seasons for John LeClair. So on this day in 1996, Flyers beat the Devils 5-1. LeClair with 2 goals and 2 assists, going over 50 for the first time in his career.
It's time for Fridays with AI, where we ask AI to rewrite Philly sports history. Every Friday, only on This Day in Philly Sports History.
That's right. It is Friday. Time for a little Fridays with AI, brought to you by Philly Goat. Go to phillygoat.com. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off your order. Do yourselves a favor. Go. I haven't even been able to keep up with all the shirts coming out. So go check them out. As Ryan and the team, I feel like they work nonstop to come up with t-shirts. Go to phillygoat.com. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10% off of your order. All right, so AI heard as I was researching all the different opening day events and spectacles at the Vet. Now they do the whole parade in, which is pretty cool, through the outfield, high five fans and everything. But I asked AI, I was like, what would a Vet-style opening day ceremony look like today, April 10th, 2026? And AI got all the teams into the action, and 5 acts here. So the first act, roll out a hot tub to the pitcher's mound. Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel are in there. They're drinking Patriot juice. On the scoreboard, there are fake tweets from Diana Rossini saying that A.J. Brown likes the cheesesteaks at Gillette Stadium better than in Philly. And then it goes to an A.J. Brown tweet that says, loyalty is a rare currency these days. Real ones know where the roots are. Seemingly taking a subtle shot at Jalen Hurts and a shout out to Mike Vrabel. And then all of a sudden, drones fly by and drop copies of the Patriots playbook down. Wheel that away, bring on Act 2. A surgical suite procession occurs. Hospital gurneys rolled out by doctors in trust the process scrubs carry a 10-foot inflatable appendix. And to start the play-in season, it is popped, and all fans get 10% off knee braces from your local drugstore. Doctor says the surgery went well. He'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks. Get that out of the way. AI is just taking shots at us all day today. Flyers for Act 3 come out in camouflage jerseys and basically release a statement say we're currently in the playoffs, but we need to avoid whatever curse is going around Philly. So they retreat to bunkers to avoid any impact of the curse. As the Flyers leave the field, Act 4 starts, and a giant tub of dirt is brought out into the center field. Workers start digging. What are they looking for? They're looking for the Union's offense. They do find a ball. One of a player dressed in a Union jersey takes a shot. It hits off the foul pole and knocks out a fan. Remove the dirt. I'm telling you, AI is brutal today. And then for the final act, the Phillies parade in like they always do, but instead of carrying bats, they're carrying pool noodles, since that apparently is what it's like to be a hitter for the Phillies. And now it's time for the first pitch. First pitch, Phillies never announce who's throwing out the first pitch. Guy comes out sort of in a cloak, similar to the way the Savannah Bananas did it with Ryan Howard. Everybody's speculating, is it Ryan? Who is it? Who's throwing out the first pitch? The guy takes off the cloak and wearing a cutoff hoodie, Bill Belichick style, that says Patriots, and a full Phillies uniform underneath, it's A.J. Brown. And before he throws out the first pitch, he takes out his phone. He tweets on the Jumbotron. It says, "Trust is a mirror. Once it's broken, you see yourself in pieces." Everybody's speculating on who he's talking about. Is it Vrabel, Jalen, Nick, Howie? He throws out the first pitch to a catcher who is wearing a catcher's mask, but also a mask underneath that. Afterwards, catcher catches the ball. It's a perfect strike from AJ. Walks out to the mound, takes off the catcher's mask, takes off the under mask, revealing his face, and it is none other than Jalen Hurts. He and AJ do not embrace. He just gives AJ a thumbs up. Twitter almost breaks when almost immediately the Eagles Twitter team releases a tweet that says, "Sources, it's a Philly thing. We leaked the Sedona photos of Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel." Almost immediately, the next tweet is announced how he restructured both Jalen and AJ's contracts. They are here to stay for the long haul. In a post-game or post-event, post-first pitch interview, Jalen says the main thing is always the main thing. Today, the main thing was making sure number 11 wasn't lost without a map. I'm just a travel guide with a purpose. And there you have it. That's what AI thinks the current state of Philly sports, what an opening day ceremony would be. A little bit of fun with that. That would be great, though. That would be great if the Eagles did come out and say, "We leaked the photos." Big Dom taking pictures. Now, there is some speculation that Big Dom and the Eagles were there an extra day to see Arizona State's pro day because they're following a couple guys on their roster. Maybe they have the money to spend on, I'm just saying. But a little bit of fun with that. This is Fridays with AI, brought to you by Philly Goat. Go to phillygoat.com. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery to take 10. I can't stop laughing at that because could you imagine Jalen just going, the main thing's the main thing, just making sure he wasn't lost. All right. And then finally today, this one fits perfectly with the mood. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. In Philly, first impressions last forever. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes ugly. This month, we take a look at all three. This one was definitely bad, definitely got ugly. But Gabe Kapler, former manager of the Phillies from 2008, 2019, best known for pulling Aaron Nola in the home opener with 60-some pitches, hadn't given up a run yet because the analytics said it was time to switch pitchers. Obviously, the Phillies would go on to lose that game. They started 1-4, and Gabe never recovered from that. Obviously, he was booed during the home opener when the Phillies came back to the bank. He was average at best. I mean, he was right around 500. He had one good season in San Francisco, but this is one of the few times where Philly fans, we were right about the first impression of Gabe Kapler, but he is today's first impression. It was bad and it was ugly, and he never recovered from that. Would love to know your thoughts on A.J. Brown and AI's version of what happened. I don't know. I think that was fun. On this day in 1996, John LeClair had 2 goals and 2 assists as the Flyers beat the Devils 5-1. Mike Schmidt gets his MVP award on the home opener at the Vet. Phillies lose to the Cubs 4-3. Schmidt hits a 3-run homer on opening day in 1984. The American Comet flies from second base to home plate. And in 1976, a horseman dressed as Paul Revere delivered the first pitch, traveling all the way from Boston. And of course, in 1971, the Vet opened up for the first time. And that leads us directly into today's trivia question. The Phillies and the Eagles both played at the Vet. Were they above or under 500? Pretty easy one. But hit me up on the Back to the Future voice and text line 267-495-8531. That'll get you in. But Phillies over under 500 their lifetime at the Vet. Eagles over under 500 lifetime at the Vet. That kind of an easier one for this weekend, but we've got a lot of things to watch this weekend. So we'll be back on Monday to recap the weekend. The Union, Sixers, Flyers, and Phillies all in action. Buckle up. It's going to be a weekend. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for April 10th, 2026. My name's Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Friday. Have a good weekend, everybody. It is a feel-good Friday, even though it doesn't feel like it. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.